Hey YouTube land, Christopher Walker here again, and I'm going to do a movie request. Rybrent, I don't know how to pronounce, if I pronounce your name wrong, please tell me. Rybrent, man, FTW wanted me, requested that I review this movie, and that is Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. This is a great movie, a great crime movie. Starring Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Lawrence Tierney, Steve Buscemi, Chris Penn, who else is in this thing? Pretty much named them all. So, pretty much the plot of this movie is just these guys get together and pretty much to plan a robbery of this jewelry store, and the robbery is going to be led by Lawrence Tierney's character, who's kind of like the boss of this whole gang. And each person in the robbery, like each robber, is identified with a certain color, like Mr. Pink, Mr. White, Mr. Orange, Mr. Yellow. Mr. Brown is Quentin Tarantino. Mr. White is Harvey Keitel. Tim Roth is Mr. Orange. Michael Madsen. Mr. Yellow. I think he's Mr. Yellow. If not, I think he's Mr. Yellow, yeah. Harvey Keitel is Mr. White. Steve Buscemi is Mr. Pink, and Chris Penn is Fast Guy Eddie. And, this is a great movie. So anyway, so they get to this jewelry store, but the thing about this movie is it's a movie about a robbery, yet it doesn't show the robbery. It shows before and after the robbery. But anyway, so it doesn't show the robbery. I'm just gonna talk about when they're talking about the robbery. So what happens is they get to the jewelry store and they rob it, but it turns out the cops are already there, and so it ends up in a bloody ambush. Michael Madsen starts killing the hostages. Remember, they don't show any of this. It's just them talking in this warehouse, talking about what I'm talking to you guys about. I don't know. Anyway, So Michael Madsen starts shooting the hostages, and then the cops arrive. Mr. Pink flees the fuck out. He starts shooting at the cops, and all falling down and crap, and everyone's just blasting their way out of there. So Mr. Orange, played by Tim Roth, gets shot. So Mr. White, Mr. Orange, and Mr. Pink all flee back to the rendezvous, which is this kind of big old warehouse type thing. But it turns out that they think that there's a rat in the group, like one of them's a cop, yet we don't know who. So that's the plot. Who must have set up the cops at the jewelry store, told them about what was going to happen, which ended up in the bloody ambush. So that's the plot of Reservoir Dogs. This is such a great movie. I'm questioning whether or not I should go through spoiler territory, but you know what? I am. So, spoilers ahead. So pretty much, like, a whole bunch of the gang members are, like, dead. Like, Mr. Blue's dead, Mr. Brown's dead, Mr. Orange gets shot in the stomach, he's just bleeding out for the rest of the movie. Mr. White's kind of unhappy with the rest of the group. Mr. Yellow's psychotic. Chris Penn is pissed. Lawrence Tierney is pissed because soon everyone finds out that there's a rat in the group, yet we just don't know who. But there's some really cool scenes in this movie, like when in the beginning when the smallest violin for the waitresses, Steve Buscemi's, and you got the really cool scene where Harvey Keitel, like, he gets the two pistols, and the cop car kind of hangs around the alley, and he's just firing these two pistols, bang, bang, bang. He's shooting up the whole windshield, man. The cops have blood all over the place. Then there's the really famous sequence where they tie up the cop that Mr. Yellow kidnapped, and Mr. Yellow's playing the K-Billy super sounds of the 70s, and the plane's stuck in the middle of he's dancing with a straight razor, and he cuts off the cop's ear, and that's one of the many great scenes in this movie. But this is the old DVD. Yeah, I know there's a 10th anniversary. My dad has. You can find the 10th anniversary with just all the faces on the front, But like my dad, he's got the one with the slipcover of Quentin Tarantino on it, where they came out with these versions with the slipcovers that had like each character. Like there was a Mr. White slipcover, Mr. Brown, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, Mr. Yellow. My dad has Mr. Brown for the slipcover. But so they're investigating on who they think is, you know, the cop, and so like they get in several arguments, you know, they're yelling at each other and stuff, and then it ends in a Mexican standoff between Harvey Keitel, Lawrence Tierney, and Chris Penn, because Lawrence Tierney thinks that Tim Roth's character is the cop, is the cop, and it turns out Tim Roth, Mr. Orange, is the cop, and so pretty much it ends in a really tense Mexican standoff. Pretty much they all shoot at each other. Chris Penn, Lawrence Tierney, and Harvey Keitel all shoot at each other, and they all fall on the ground. Harvey Keitel, Mr. White, lives, but then the cops come in and shoot him. And I'm sorry, it's not that great of a plot description of this movie, but this is a great movie. One of the best debut movies, I think. It's up there with Michael Madsen's Thief. Among others, A Fistful of Dollars. What else was I thinking about? Oh, Jesus Christ. Blood Simple, the Coen Brothers. But this is a great heist movie. The actors all do a really good job. Harvey Keitel is my personal favorite character. Please, in the comments, let me know what your favorite character is in this movie. Mr. Pink's kind of a smart ass. Tim Roth's kind of slick at first before he starts bleeding all over the place. Lawrence Tierney's kind of groggy sounding, sounds like gargling with glass. And then who else? Michael Madsen's kind of soft talking, kind of a Martin Brando like. I don't know why, but he's very kind of psychotic bank robber. But Chris Penn does a good job. Quentin Tarantino does a good job for what couple of minutes he has. Reservoir Dogs is a great debut movie. This is just a really good movie. Check this movie out if you haven't. Sorry if it's kind of a crappy way to tell the plot, but I haven't seen this movie in freaking ages. So it's the bank robbery, the jewelry store, cops are there, I think there's a rat in the warehouse. Things ensue. A lot of bad things ensue. But this is a great movie. 4 perfect killers, 1 perfect crime. Now all they have to do is fear each other. Great movie. Check out Reservoir Dogs if you haven't. It's a classic. I'm Christopher Walker, and I will see you guys later.